Hey you guys, what's going on? This is Trent. I'm here at Rexburg Motorsports and I am here to do another machine overview with you. Now today we are gonna go over the most exciting machine to come out for 2022. We're gonna talk about Polaris's new Pro R line. These things, man, Polaris brought the goods on them. Everything got bigger, badder, faster with this line. And it's amazing to see how far Polaris has taken the side-by-side game. Now today, this right here is the Ultimate Launch Edition in the 4-seater machine. And you see this thing, you walk into this showroom, this thing sticks out like a sore thumb because of how big it is. This thing is 165.5 inches long, 74 inches wide, and it is just massive. Every single thing about this machine is huge. You've got 32-inch tires. These Maxxis tires that they've thrown on this is one of the best tires out on the market, and you're getting it stock with this Polaris. You've got 16 inches of ground clearance. This thing is massive. Legitimately, I can crawl under this thing, and if I can do that, you gotta think about the types of rocks, the types of roots, the types of things that you're gonna go over with ease with this machine. Now, a big thing that you can look at with this machine to show you just how serious Polaris was about this is look at the size of these A-arms. Look at the girth on these things. It's amazing. Can I say that? The size of these things is huge. You look at the A-arms on this Pro XP over here, and you see these things are really quite stout, but Polaris did a whole new game when they brought out this machine. Polaris has brought the A-arms that are needed for this big of a machine. Now, a big thing with this Fox suspension that they've got on this, you've got 22.25 inch of suspension travel on the front and 24.5 in the back. That's huge. You think about the types of impacts you're gonna be able to take and the types of jumps you're gonna be able to handle with that much suspension travel. Not to mention the fact that with this Polaris right here, this Ultimate Launch Edition, you're getting the Fox Dynamic DV suspension. This is independently changing at milliseconds your compression dampening and rebound dampening to make sure that you can tackle any bump, any jump, any obstacle at any time. Polaris has brought the goods, as I said. This is their new generation dynamic suspension. This suspension still has selectable drive modes, so you can really tailor this live valve suspension to exactly where you're riding. They've got modes for rock crawling, they've got a sport mode, they've got a race mode, and these modes allow this suspension to be tailored to make your riding experience the best it can be. As you select those modes, it's changing the map for that compression dampening and rebound dampening to make sure that, again, these wheels are staying planted to the ground and you're getting all the confidence that you need to push through the bumps harder and to go faster than you ever thought was possible in a side-by-side. When it comes to inside the cab of this Polaris Pro R, Polaris also brought the goods. It's amazing how comfortable they want you to be. Everything from the flat bottom steering wheel that's got a soft touch to it, that's tilt adjustable as well as telescoping adjustable. They're gonna make sure that you've got your driving position just perfect. The seat's adjustable. You've got these amazing harnesses. They allow you to move for that little bit. They're just like a standard car seat belt, giving you that freedom to move when you're remembering that you've got to get something off your dash. So that's something awesome, but it's gonna keep you nice and strapped in and safe feeling so you can push those limits. Now, everything on this dash is customizable as well. On this ride command module that you've got here, you've got different gauges that you can look at. You've got GPS that's got ride share. You've got the ability to look and see map history. And so if you found an awesome new riding spot, when you go there again the next week, you can jump in here and say, oh, hey, look, that trail, that was right there. You've got your phone controls. You can connect your phone onto Bluetooth so you can send your music from your phone onto your side-by-side radio. You've got your phone calls you can make. You've got all sorts of things on here. You've also even got a backup camera. You've got all of your radio controls. You've got onboard diagnostics, everything at the touch of a button with this awesome touchscreen ride command module. This is gonna be your drive mode switch. This has got 3 different drive modes. You've got sport, you've got rock crawl, and you've got race. This can make your throttle control and the way that this machine is reacting to your foot inputs as aggressive or as smooth as you want. In the rock crawl mode, this is when you're really trying to pick those slow lines through the really technical driving. You don't want a lurchy throttle pedal. So this rock crawl mode slows it down just a little bit. So it's nice and smooth as you're picking through those really tight technical lines. Sport mode is gonna be your normal mode. This is gonna give you all the power on tap at any time, giving you that nice jumpy feel. And then the race mode, that's the big daddy mode. This is gonna give you anything and everything right on touch. It's gonna be the touchiest map, but it's gonna give you the most power no matter how soft or how hard you're pushing on that throttle pedal. Now you've also got your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive lock modes on your 4-wheel drive switch. And this is gonna allow you to have that tail happy out there 2-wheel drive mode with that locked rear diff. The standard all-wheel drive setup is giving you locked rear diff and then an open front diff to still give you that steering feel. If you're hitting corners in a locked front diff, you end up just plowing through the corner. And so that open front diff allows you to keep those cutting abilities as if you were in 2-wheel drive. And then you've got that locked mode. Again, rock crawler's paradise, mud paradise. This is gonna give you all of the traction, having all 4 tires locked in, pulling hard to give you maximum traction when you need it most. Now this is the part of this machine that excites me the most. When it comes to the engine on this Pro R, Polaris broke every rule in the book that I thought there was a rule on side-by-sides. It's 2 liters. I thought you couldn't go bigger than 1,000. This thing is huge. It's 4 cylinders. I didn't know you could go more than 2 or 3. This thing is huge. Polaris has brought out this ProStar Fury motor for this. Again, 2-liter 4-cylinder, 4 valves per cylinder. This thing is ready to rip. Now, if you're wondering about this 4-cylinder motor, this is a tuned up version of what they were putting in their slingshots their last couple years. Now there's some huge differences between this 2-liter as opposed to the one that is in the slingshot, mainly when it comes to the oiling system and the way that this thing is built to make maximum horsepower. Let's talk about that oiling system a bit. In the oil pan, this thing has got lots of windage trays and lots of stops to make sure that no matter what angle you're at, no matter how far you're angled back or sideways as you're on the trails and in the dunes, this thing is gonna stay cool. It's gonna stay lubricated so you can get maximum horsepower and not go into that dreaded limp mode. Now, one big thing that they did on this machine is they designated this engine into a cold side and a hot side. Everything on the intake side is on the cold side, and this is where you've got all of your maintenance points. You're gonna be able to change your oil filter. You're gonna be able to check your oil and not have to worry about burning your hands on that hot side. This is how you can get to your alternator, which this thing's got a 1700 watt alternator stock. So you're gonna be able to throw bigger light bars at this, bigger stereos than this already even comes with, and not have to worry about trying to figure out how to get more juice for those accessories. Now on this hot side, you can see Polaris has got some cool stuff going on with this exhaust system. And this gives this an awesome tuned length header, which is gonna give you maximum horsepower, but with this short exhaust, this has got a unique sound. This motor revs to about 9,000 RPMs, and when you're at full tilt boogie on this thing is gonna be ripping. Now, when you go from this 4-cylinder, 225 horsepower into this CVT, this is where Polaris made some huge changes as well. Everything is bigger to handle this added torque and this added horsepower that this machine's gonna take. If you look at the size of the belt is wider and longer. If you look at the clutch setups, they are so much bigger than the clutch setups on other RZRs, and for good reason. They were looking to have a longer belt life than any other RZR has ever had, as well as make sure to get all of that power that this motor is gonna handle to the wheels. Now, a big shift that you're gonna have on this belt system is Polaris said they had a shift in how they wanted to engineer this. They said that the outgoing RZR systems, they said that the big focus was to get cold air in. Now, the shift on this was how they wanted to get the heat out. So you've got bigger finning, different webbing on the clutch systems. This is gonna be pushing the heat out to make sure that your clutch and belt are staying right around that 300-degree mark. So your belt life is gonna be longer because it's staying cooler. As you move away from the clutch system, man, you've got to watch the technical videos that Polaris put out on this, because you get to see how much bigger everything is. The drive shafts, way bigger. Everything was made bigger. The half shafts were made bigger. Polaris was serious about making sure that this machine is going to handle the abuse like a champion. So you can go harder and have more fun without worrying about breaking down in those crazy conditions that you're going to be able to take this machine into. All right, so as you can see with this overview, Polaris is serious about bringing the biggest and best side-by-sides to the side-by-side game. If you're as serious as Polaris is about making sure that the only view your buddies have is this side of your machine, you need to come and get into one of these Pro Rs. Come on in here to Rexburg Motorsports. We would love to show you more of the ins and outs of this exciting new machine and get you one coming. These things were going fast. Our first allotment of these machines were locked up in the first couple days that they were released. So you're gonna wanna get on that list as soon as possible. Come on in here to Rexburg Motorsports, and we would love to make sure you get taken care of. So again, you can show your buddies this side of a machine. You never wanna lose. Polaris wants to make sure you're winning. We'll talk to you later, and thank you so much for watching these videos.